I wanted to give you a few little things that I had found about linen.
Yes.
This is very exciting because this is out of Scripture. This, you know, the Scripture talks about linen and wool, and it talks about not mixing the two. And up until recently, we haven't really known why you shouldn't mix the two, but now we know. The flax cells are highly complementary with the human cells, and they produce actually a benevolent effect on humans, which is very interesting. And the
So linen comes from flax?
Linen comes from flax, in case you did not know that. It comes from the flax plant fibers that are made into
Not the seed.
thread. No, not the seed, but the fibers.
And then you
Yes.
say that piece again. It comes from the plant
Flat
fibers. And then what did you say before that?
She doesn't remember.
That there's a good effect on the human from anything made out of flax.
Okay.
Eaten, put on, whatever.
Stops breast cancer.
It does a lot of awesome things. In fact, the only thing they use for internal sutures is linen,
Wow.
because it dissolves in the body after a while. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, scientists have discovered that linen fibers reflect light. And Dr. Otto Heinrich Warburg identified, he calls them signature frequency numbers. And the human has 70 to 90 as an average signature frequency numbers. I've read about biophotonics, which says that you should have about 100. If you're just at 70 or 90, you're just average. So you don't want to be average, you want to be a little above average. Any results that they had with less than 50 signature frequencies was chronic disease. Anything less than 15 was an incurable condition like cancer.
Less than 50?
15, yeah.
Less than 50 is
Chronic
chronic disease?
Yes, that's chronic disease.
And then less than
15 was incurable cancer, or incurable diseases of some kind. But linen fabric measures 5,000 signature frequencies, and so does wool. And what's the interesting thing is when you take linen and wool and you put them together, they cancel each other out, and you get 0. So that's why you don't put linen with wool. Isn't that interesting?
That sound like Bach flowers.
But plant fibers like cotton and hemp are not healing. Okay, they're average. You know, I think cotton comes to about 100 units if it's not bleached of signature frequencies. But if it's bleached, it's 0. Silk fabric measures about 10 units of energy, and it fails to support the health of anybody. The scriptures tell us to wear one or the other, and if you look at the priests, they're often told to wear the linen because you won't sweat in linen. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and you don't. You have a better chance of not sweating in linen than you do in wool.
But you have to iron it.
But all that does is it helps sterilize it.
In the garage. Oh, she's bringing us back into the dark ages. No, it's not an ironing. I'm just teasing.
Flax has been known, the word flax actually means to being most useful in the scriptures. That's what it actually means.
Wow.
I will add something to that, though. If you want the no iron linen, you need to soak it in formaldehyde.
You're kidding me.
Gosh.
That's correct.
It does
Formaldehyde is used
Embalming.
in
For
the industry,
embalming, yeah,
yes,
for embalming the dead.
to use for the no iron clothing and so forth that's using
It
formaldehyde.
makes it wrinkle free,
formaldehyde.
like polyester.
And does it still have this light effect?
Yeah, does it still have the energy?
I don't know. I wouldn't know what it
Sounds
would do
like
there,
you
but
might
you don't want
cancel
formaldehyde on your
No, I was
body.
gonna say.
And we do have it regularly now, our percal sheets, things like that. They have formaldehyde now. Our bed sheets have the formaldehyde. Our clothing has formaldehyde. It used to be cotton you had to iron years and years ago. I remember.
Yeah, you sure you did.
I hated cotton because you had to iron it.
Right, right.
Well, they have no iron cotton now.
Because
So
they put formaldehyde in.
Because
they've
of-
integrated the formaldehyde link into it.
Really? So is it bad for us now? I mean,
So
is
it's
that
not
ruining the
good.
energy?
It's not good for you.
I would imagine it would. I don't know
I
what
should
study
say it's
it
Well,
is.
not
you're wearing
healing.
it. I mean, you must approve of it. That looks like it's a no iron one.
Probably is,
Electronically
until I can switch
speaking.
over to linen.
Okay.
Because that's going to be our goal, is to switch to linen.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we're going to aim for. Actually, this is linen.
Okay.
But linen bed sheets actually have been proven that they keep people from having bed sores.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
And yet you don't find them in any place, you know? And when there's this
Yeah.
And where
Answer.
did the tag come from, linen closet?
Yeah.
That was back in the
'Cause they
early
had
days.
all the-
But I wonder how comfortable they are to sleep in.
The more you wash them, the softer they get.
Yes.
By experience, I have.
And that
seen
doesn't decrease the photo,
Mm-mm.
The energy.
photonic
When you
quality.
wash all your permanent presses, doesn't the formaldehyde eventually get out?
Not that I've seen.
No?
Who knows?
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty permanent.
So far, okay.
Wonderful.
Researchers have found that when you use linen sheets or just wear linen, that you fall asleep faster, sleep deeper, and wake up in a better mood. Isn't that interesting? I mean, there's just so many wonderful things about linen.
deeper.
Fall asleep faster.
And wake up in a better mood.
Oh my goodness.
That's right.
The flax fiber protects against chemical exposure, noise, dust. It reduces solar gamma radiation by half
Wow.
when you wear it. It is resistant to harmful radiation, which I thought was very interesting, because you know in Revelation 19 it talks about in the end times that the righteous are wearing white linen.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I wonder if there's any good reason for doing that. You know, in the end times. There might be a good reason for wearing that. Linen underwear heightens positive emotions, as well as possessing rare bacteriological
Linen
properties.
underwear.
Do
Isn't
they
that
sell
interesting?
linen underwear anywhere?
I have never found any.
I've never seen any.
At the bottom of your recipe sheet, I gave you a website to go to for linen, and she has awesome linen things that
Yes.
are very beautiful. Yeah, they're spendy. So I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna make mine. I'm just
You
gonna
make it. Okay.
And
Beautiful
Oh, there it
wedding
is.
stuff too.
yes, gorgeous,
Sephora.
gorgeous stuff. Yes. So you can go there and check out what she has and what she makes, is some of the things that she does, but I'm looking at just being able to make almost anything out of linen. I don't see why you couldn't,
Yeah.
you know, because I have several linen outfits, and yes, I have to iron them, but you know, I love them, they're soft, and now, after I've washed them well.
I don't like anything I've
I
done.
have
Me too.
If I see it on the shelf and I have to iron it, I don't touch
Too
it.
bad. Linen has been shown to be hydroscopic. Does anybody know what that means?
No, what does that mean?
Hydroscopic means that it wicks up water rapidly and it releases moisture rapidly.
Releases moisture.
That's why you don't sweat,
Ah.
is because of that property. Linen does not cause allergic reactions in people, which is pretty cool, especially if it's made without the chemicals in it. It does not accumulate static electricity, which is kind of cool. It has a high air permeability, which means it conducts heat 5 times as high as wool and 19 times that of silk. In hot weather, if you're in linen, your skin temperature will be 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, which is below that of silk or cotton wearing friends, which I thought was interesting, especially considering we're down here in the heat, you know, that if we wear linen, we'd actually be cooler by wearing linen than we would wearing cotton. And I thought cotton was the best, to tell you the truth, as far as coolness goes. But they're saying linen is even better. So in cold weather, linen is an ideal warmth keeper also. So it works both ways, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've worn linen here, but you know, even when it's ironed, after you put it on, it looks a mess within
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Just
Just sit down in it. What's the formaldehyde in that one?
Does it linen come in accounts, like sheets come in 100 count, 300 count, 400 count?
The only place I have found them is at that website that I showed you. They have linen sheets there. They have linen, actually healing cloths even, to wrap yourself in if you're ill and want to sleep in something that's linen.
Swaddling
Yes.
cloth?
Yeah, it's like a
Oh,
swaddling cloth.
swaddling
And did you know that Yeshua, that's what Yeshua was wrapped in,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
linen
linen.
swaddling cloth.
Wow,
And
they
he
just
was
happened to have it.
And he was what?
And even,
resurrected.
yeah, there you go. And even when he died, that's what he was
Yeah.
wrapped in also, was linen.
That was all they had back then? Was that most of it?
Pretty much linen, linen or wool, and since the priests were required to wear linen, when they got rid of their tallits and their robes and stuff, they would make them into strips of cloth, and that was what was called swaddling cloth. And so they would sell them or give them to the poor, and they would wrap their babies in it, and I mean, use them for bandages, use them for all kinds of things. So that's where it came from. In linen is a substance called silica, and it protects linen from rotting. So you were asking about rotting. It doesn't rot easily. So it's kind of this awesome material here. There's been many individuals who've testified that their healing was rapid. Post-injury or surgical pain was actually substantially reduced without the use of drugs when using linen bandages and wearing linen clothing. So if you know someone who has a disease that they're really struggling with, suggest linen. You know, that might help them. Yes?
Do they have any case studies around that so that you can show the people who really are trying to buck you?
Yes, they're at the end. Let's see. I can get them for you. I don't have them with me right now, and I have one on here too.
Right.
So, wearing black clothing also is not good for you?
It's not.
If you want healing, okay, if you want the healing of linen, black is not a good color.
A
to do
black,
that.
even with the linen, it's not good for it to be
Right,
black.
correct, yes, just so you know that. And I think it makes me wonder, is that one of the reasons that we wear white linen in Revelation, you know, instead of black?
Well, isn't that more representational, symbolic?
Yes,
you
I'm
know?
sure it is, but you know, I'm looking at it like, well, maybe there's something to this, you know, because there's several levels of everything that is in the scriptures. One is going to be physical. The other one's going to be spiritual, and other levels too. So I'm looking at the physical now with new eyes that I've never looked at before, you know. And so to me, it's like, wow, maybe it would behoove us in these coming days with so many toxic things in the air and in the water and everything, to just add to the healing abilities that Father has given us in the scriptures.
Gonna have to lose a lot of weight to look good in the light.
So the scripture really encourages us to use linen, and it was interesting that in here they were talking about, the scripture talks about when a leper is being cleansed or is trying to see if he's cleansed or if he has a problem, he's always in linen, wool, or leather. Those are the only three things that are mentioned when you're talking about lepers, because all three of those are healing. They're natural and healing.
Leather.
Just watch out for leather,
How
because
come?
today's leather can also be pigskin,
Yes.
and it
And
will
if you-
not heal you.
No. And if you don't know what it looks like when it's finished, you won't know that it's a pig.
Oh.
And the way you can tell is when you look at the leather, it'll have little dots in it,
Yeah.
regular ones. That is pig.
Oh.
The regular leather of cow leather or any other leather will not look like that. But pig has little dots, and they're very obvious when you look close at it.
Oh.
I had a friend give me some the other day, you know, and I didn't know that it was pig, and I thought, wait a minute, I need to look at that. And I looked at it, and it had all the dots. Wow.
So you give it to somebody
I gave
else?
it,
No?
yes.
Free
I'm not even touching it.
Was it clothing or just a purse
It
or
was
something?
clothing.
Oh,
It was clothing, yeah. So, we're going to go into our first raw protein filling for tortillas.
Okay.
This is going to be a high protein vegetarian raw dish. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put in
Good.
an avocado. One of my favorite things is
These
avocado.
ones are great, aren't they?
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
This is a really good way to get your oils naturally.
Yeah.
They do not have bad cholesterol in them. No vegetable or seed has bad cholesterol in it. You only get the bad cholesterol in the meats.
So they send me the seed.
Okay?
Thank you.
She's gonna plant it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
They're good. They're easy to plant too. They're
I
great.
got one
They're
growing.
good to eat too.
Yeah.
Remember we
Yeah.
told you they're
Yeah,
good to
absolutely.
eat.
Absolutely.
And these ones have less of the fats than the little small ones.
Yes,
They do? I
definitely.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they do. You can tell, I mean, you can look at them and see that they have less
Okay.
fat in them. They're just more watery and light looking and light tasting too.
Yeah.
Right.
The Haas has more of a richer texture to it.
Yeah.
Did you know there's hundreds of different kinds of avocados?
Yes.
No.
There are several. Yeah.
There's
I noticed-
hundreds.
Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea there were hundreds.
I've
We-
seen them in Jamaica.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
several
yeah.
kinds.
Yes.
Is
And
that
we
one
only-
from Mexico
This is
or-
Florida.
This is
This
Florida.
is the
Yeah,
Florida
this you
one.
find all the time.
This
in
was the
stores.
first, you know, when we moved to Florida, this was
This
when
is
we
what I-
first found a different type of
Avocado.
Avocado, yeah,
Wow.
because
Yeah,
before we always had the
Thirty
Haas.
years. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, these are.
So that was really good to
Yes, that's really good.
find some new ones.